Dive into the spine-tingling world of horror filmmaking with Michael Chaves, the director who's just helmed a $500 million blockbuster. And guess what? He's calling it quits for the iconic Warrens. But here's where it gets controversial. Is wrapping up a beloved franchise like this the smart move, or is it leaving fans hungry for more? Stick around as we unpack this exclusive chat, and you might find yourself questioning if every story truly needs an ending. The Conjuring Lost Rites director opens up on crafting his massive horror smash. The Conjuring Lost Rites director, Michael Chaves, reflects on directing his $500 million horror triumph. Exclusive conversation. Warner Brothers, spoiler alert. This piece includes details from The Conjuring Lost Rites that might ruin surprises for you. While James Wan kicked off the Conjuring saga as the original visionary, Michael Chaves has undeniably carved out his own massive legacy. Having steered The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Nun 2, and now The Conjuring Lost Rites. And let's not forget the ongoing chatter about the Curse of La Llorona fitting into the canon. Check out this deep dive at /film. We've seen Chaves evolve from a fresh horror talent into a director who knows how to deliver the explosive send-off this juggernaut franchise deserves. Moviegoers have voted with their wallets, making Lost Rites the top earner in the Conjuring realm at the box office. It's clear they've embraced his take on the series. Now that The Conjuring Lost Rites has dropped on VOD, with physical copies hitting shelves next month, I connected with Chaves via Zoom to chat about birthing the final installment in the series. He's adamant it's the true end, and what his next chapter holds as a filmmaker. Note, for smoother reading, this conversation has been slightly trimmed and clarified. The Conjuring Lost Rites was intentionally designed as the close of the Warrens' epic tale. Warner Bros. I'm hooked on every Conjuring flick, and this latest one hit all the right notes for me. Let's kick things off with the big one. When did you and the team realize, hey, this might really be the swan song? Was it early in planning or closer to the finish line? From the get-go, I believe, it was a crucial point for everyone, including the studio. We had these talks where I mentioned my adoration for A Nightmare on Elm Street earlier, a series that just kept chugging along without a proper wrap-up. So New Line Cinema, especially exec Dave Neustadter, emphasized, let's wrap this up while we're on a high. Let's control our own conclusion. That became our mantra throughout production. Honestly, I kept reminding the crew at every step, from scripting to promotion, how vital it was to spotlight this as the closing chapter. The film radiates a feeling of closure, not just through the demonic thrills and jump scares, but also via the heartfelt character arcs, bonds, and the gradual ramp-up to the showdown. Could you explain your method for handling the softer, dramatic moments, or even the lighter, humorous bits versus the terror? Do you switch up your directorial style, or does it all stem from the same foundation? For me, it's consistently from the same root. The frights only land if viewers are invested in the people on screen. They're intertwined, hand in glove. I've learned from past missteps that splitting them artificially, like treating story beats and scare segments as separate puzzle pieces, doesn't work. Instead, it's about deepening our affection for these characters, then guiding them into dark territories we'd rather avoid. It's a unified journey. To simplify for newcomers to filmmaking, imagine building a house. The scares are the dramatic roof, but without a strong emotional foundation, the walls of character development, the whole thing collapses. That's why I ensure every scene, whether tense or tender, serves the bigger picture of making you care before scaring you. What's your strategy for guiding Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson? Their on-screen rapport feels authentic and lived in, like they've shared lifetimes together. How do you collaborate with performers to unlock that effortless chemistry? I focus on fostering a supportive environment on set. They're phenomenal actors, intimately familiar with their roles, and interestingly, they've directed films themselves, something that used to make me nervous early on, like, they've got more experience than me. But now I see it as a bonus. Those with directing chops, whether in acting or other roles, add immense value and support. With them, I set the scene context and then step back. They take it from there brilliantly. For beginners wondering about actor-director dynamics, think of it as coaching a sports team. You provide the game plan and inspiration, but you trust the player's instincts to execute the plays. It creates magic without micromanaging. The Conjuring. I'd love insights into your scare-building process and why this one shines for you. The wedding dress mirror room sequence is absolutely my top choice. It's the standout moment I've created so far. The visuals are just mesmerizing and enjoyable to craft. As for maximum impact, the succubus attack at the bed's foot, where Jack levitates and reveals her presence, always elicits the loudest gasps in cinemas. It's a straightforward twist, but it delivers huge returns. Still, I keep returning to that mirror room. Directing it was a blast, and it looks spectacular. To break it down for aspiring horror makers, building scares is like layering a cake. Start with suspense, the base, add visual flair, frosting, and top with timing, the cherry. Here, mirrors amplify reflection themes, creating disorienting, personal terror. Think of how it plays on fears of the unseen self. As the story reaches its zenith, the intensity doesn't let up. Up until now, The Conjuring 2 held the crown for the wildest, most relentless ending in the series. Does Last Rites aim to outdo that? And did you keep Conjuring 2's finale in mind as a benchmark? Great query. I aimed for unflinching momentum. A major balancing act was incorporating the hanging climax, followed by her apparent defeat, only for her to resurface. It felt precarious because we'd killed her twice before, as a baby and an adult, and revived her each time. Would audiences stay engaged for those final stretches of her inner strength? Even now, watching it, I question if it dragged or could have been snappier. Regarding Conjuring 2, I'm a huge admirer of those films. And James Wan. No rivalry here. I'm just thankful to contribute to this legendary lineup. Michael Chaves plays it close to the vest on a potential Young Warren spin-off, Warner Bros. The wedding climax has been dubbed the Avengers Endgame of horror by some colleagues, reuniting the ensemble for a grand farewell. Only, it's a funeral in Marvel and a joyous ceremony here. What went into orchestrating that? Who handled the outreach to round up everyone for a quick cameo in the church? Everyone pitched in, and it was incredible. Many were folks I met for the first time. Coordinating was a logistical marvel, shooting in England and flying people in for essentially a single afternoon. I'm thrilled I wasn't tasked with tracking the guest list. How charged was the atmosphere during filming? Did emotions run high in that reunion? It was fantastic, like a big family gathering. I felt like I'd joined the family by marriage, not knowing every detail, but deeply connected. It was heartwarming. Clearly, this marks the definitive close for the Warrens as portrayed by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, yet we glimpse their younger selves. Though you might be sworn to secrecy, have talks surfaced about prequels featuring new cast members exploring their formative years? This was crafted as the conclusive entry, and that's the line we're upholding. We drew inspiration from Logan, envisioning the daughter's future adventures as a young hero. It's liberating to let imaginations wander beyond the frame, but our focus stayed on this story. That said, the Conjuring Universe isn't necessarily done. The Nun and Annabelle franchises prove there's appetite for more tales blending personal drama with chills that pack emotional punches. In your view, could there be expansions, and would you remain part of them? Absolutely possible. The philosophy is to let viewers clamor for it, and based on the numbers, they seem to have. The Nun 2 left some threads dangling. Does that pave the way for a third to tie things up? Yes, it's amusing. There's this loose genealogy link I wish to integrate more tightly. Definitely room for it. Michael Chaves is teasing his blank check project Warner Brothers. One last sequel tease. Fans are buzzing about the Crooked Man, arguably the standout villain from a one-off Conjuring tale with whispers of a solo movie. See the latest from Slash Film. Any buzz on your end? Has anyone sought your thoughts? What's the status? It's endlessly intriguing. Crooked Man is the most frequently asked about character, even more than new Annabelle installments. Some folks dismissed it as CGI, but it was all practical effects from a talented performer. Yeah, no updates. Revisiting your early works shows a clear maturation. Your movies have grown bolder and scarier. What pivotal moments highlight your evolution as a director and boosted your confidence in executing these thrilling elements? Excellent question, and one I've pondered deeply. This film was my most rewarding to produce. Thanks for noticing that growth. The core takeaway? It's collaborative. The finest outcomes stem from assembling a stellar team, empowering them to excel, and removing ego from the equation. The misguided path is viewing filmmaking as a solo endeavor. Directors often get undue praise or blame. To expand for those starting out, I've thrived by adopting a humble, team-oriented mindset. Picture yourself as a coach guiding experts, not a dictator. Draw from the wisdom of Steve Jobs. Don't hire clever folks and dictate tasks. Hire them and ask what they envision. This makes directing enjoyable and less burdensome, letting you curate the cream of their ideas. That's my biggest insight, and I'd share it with any aspiring filmmaker. Early on, you're the whole show. But as you progress, build that dream squad. It's the game changer. Alright, final query. With the film raking in $500 million and winning hearts, you've earned that blank check privilege. If the studio offered, you've delivered us a fortune, what's your pick? What's your pitch? Your ultimate dream gig? Whoa, such a fun hypothetical. I'm a fan of the Blank Check podcast, by the way. Countless ideas come to mind, but I won't spill prematurely. Truthfully, I'm already pursuing my blank check venture. It's something I've longed to create. It's the Conjuring 5. Kidding, of course. Can't reveal details, but fingers crossed, filming kicks off early next year. But here's where it gets controversial. In a genre built on franchises, is ending a series like this bold innovation or a missed opportunity for endless scares? And this is the part most people miss. Chaves hints at more universe potential, but insists on closure. Do you agree that some stories should stop while ahead, or does horror thrive on open-ended nightmares? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you want a Young Warrens prequel, or is The Crooked Man your dream spin-off? Let's debate. Does wrapping up The Warrens feel satisfying, or are you craving extensions? The Conjuring, Last Rites is streaming digitally now, with 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD releases on November 25th, 2025.